tell us the three most important things to take out of your diet in order to reduce your inflammation and have fewer migraines. What would you say if you had to choose just three? That
Well,
might
I
be
love
hard to
this.
do.
No, no, it's not at all because I
Oh,
love this question. What I hate is the question where people say, "Well, what should I eat to help my inflammation?" Because that's going to be unique for every person. And I've even tested twins and their profiles for their food sensitivities are radically different. But I feel very comfortable in recommending these things that everybody should take out of their diet.
okay.
Number one is artificial sweeteners. So we're
Ooh, I
talking
did not think you were going to say that. Wow. Okay.
high fructose corn syrup, saccharin, Splenda, um, Equal, which is NutraSweet, really any of those artificially created sugar substitutes.
Okay,
I
wait,
always
wait.
think, yeah,
Rewind
go
here
ahead.
because you said high fructose corn syrup, and I think most people don't think of that as an artificial sweetener. But
Oh,
that is profound, and you're right, it is. I just never thought of it that way. I mean, it's in all of our sodas, and I think a lot of people think, well, I'm not going to drink fake sweetener soda. I'm going to have a real one, and they think they're doing themselves a favor. So tell me more about that.
well, actually, I think you are doing yourself a favor if you're going for the real, for instance, Coca-Cola that is cane sugar sweetened versus any type of diet soda. But, and that's because your body doesn't really understand how to recognize these artificial sweeteners. They come into your body, your stomach says, "Oh, let me identify this food the way it would any other food. And how do I break it down?" And it can't because it's a chemical base and it's not recognizable. We did not evolve to eat these artificial ingredients, and many of which are coming from petroleum products at the foundation of them.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that fructose, even though there's some of that in fruit, fructose isn't real. It's not like sugar. It's like you're saying, it's an artificial sweetener. It's not a calorie-free artificial sweetener. And of course, most of the sodas in this country aren't made with actual sugar. They're made with high fructose corn syrup. I got to see Dr. Robert Lustig speak last weekend at a conference. Oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh, that guy is such an amazing speaker. Of course, he's on a mission against against fructose in general because it's exactly like you said. Like your body doesn't recognize it. It's a foreign substance. It has a ton of calories, and yet your body doesn't use it to say, "Okay, I'm filling up. I'm not full." Like it doesn't do that.
No, so fructose or is there is fructose in, say, an apple, but that's not what's being put into high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
That is, so high fructose corn syrup is corn on corn, basically. Once you start reading labels and start understanding all of these ingredients that are in scientific gibberish, a lot of them come from corn. So if
Yeah.
you are someone who is sensitive to corn, you need to be up on it. I have a handout for my community that is all of the derivatives of corn.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, and I mean, high fructose corn syrup's in everything. I mean, ketchup, barbecue sauce, yeah, it's kind of
Pickles.
everywhere. Fortunately, not too many of us, open the barbecue sauce and like down an entire 12 ounces the way we do a soda. So it's not as much of a problem, but
No, but what we learn in this food sensitivity testing and dietary therapy is that sometimes even the smallest amount can trigger off the inflammatory response in somebody who is sensitive to it. So, for
interesting.
instance, the next thing I'm going to say, the number two thing that everyone should avoid and take out of their diet is artificial colors. So, artificial
Mm,
colors are often labeled as FDNC, which stands for food, dye, and color, and then a number. Or they may have a name too, like vermilion or sunset yellow, things like that. And those are before the 1930s, food colorings were sourced from coal. And then in the 1930s, they realized it was cheaper to source them from petroleum. So all those food
ooh.
dyes and colors that are everywhere in our society, even caramel color, right? That might be in a soda pop. Um, they're all sourced from petroleum. And
Wow.
we did not evolve on this planet to be able to process something through our body that comes from 2 miles underneath the surface of the earth.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know that about artificial. They look so pretty though. They look so
They
pretty on
do.
M&Ms and whatnot. Oh, that's too bad.
They
They're bad for you.
do. And luckily, we have some options now. Like you can find like natural food dyes, natural food colorings to use in your own baking, like where the red comes from beets or things like, and the yellow comes from
Mm,
saffron or
turmeric
turmeric,
or
things
yeah.
like that. But in general, those are few and far between. And if you see something with like sprinkles on it, that is something to run away from. For
Oh,
my son,
too bad.
he's very sensitive to red food dye, and even the red tea on a little capsule of Tylenol is enough to set him off
No way, really?
into a
Wow.
migraine, into a
Wow.
migraine,
Wow.
and then progressing into vomiting for him.
Oh my gosh. Another problem with Tylenol. It's been in the news recently.
Well, so I always stress, if you're safe for Tylenol, and it is something we test in the MRT test,
Really?
that you should find dye-free Tylenol. There's no
Ah,
reason there's nothing medicinal in the red dye on that
true.
Tylenol. There's nothing
Yep.
medicinal in coloring of our pharmaceuticals. And if you are on a pharmaceutical drug, which is between you and your doctor, and it is a different color, you may want to investigate, can you find that drug that is not including food dye? Look at the ingredients. You
Wow.
can find the ingredients for any drug, and they're called non-medicinal or extra other ingredients, and they'll tell you what it is. And it's crazy. Like I'll even go to the regular drugstore and I'll look at the labels of over-the-counter um, drugs. And it's crazy how many food dyes and colors and other non-medicinal additives are in our regular pharmaceutical supply.
Hmm. And I had no idea you could test for that stuff too, like sensitivities to, something like Tylenol or, additives
Yep.
or things like that.
So
That's really interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. So we've got artificial sweeteners, which includes fructose, artificial colors. What is the number three thing to take out?
the number three thing, and you're going to say this is everywhere, even more than these earlier previous two that we've
Oh
just mentioned.
no.
And it is, and I'm going to hold up my little quotation marks here, natural flavors.
Really? You are
Mhm.
surprising me here this evening. I thought you were going to say gluten and dairy. No, not what you said. Okay. Natural flavors. All right. Tell me about
Natural
those.
flavors. So, natural flavors is an FDA approved kind of catch all that allows companies to create a flavor that is maybe has one molecule of something that once came from nature, like maybe like a lemon peel or something,
Oh,
but then may have 30 or more chemicals added to that to create that flavor.
oh my
And there
gosh.
are 6 or 7 multinational corporations that create all the flavors and fragrances as well that we use in our world. Everything from that flavor of pine sol to the taste of crest to the flavor in that McDonald's milkshake. All these things are made by these multinational companies, and they do not have to divulge what is in them beyond saying natural flavor. And sometimes it might just
Really?
say flavor, which is just as bad. So any type of
Okay.
added flavor. So if it's going to be a flavor that is real, the ingredients label should say something like lemon or rosemary or mint, right? Peppermint, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, if it says mint flavor or fragrance or aroma, or parfum or natural flavors, that is a dead giveaway that those are not real ingredients, those are chemicals. And for
Wow.
someone who is sensitive to inflammation, like someone like myself, especially those of us who have already tipped over into an autoimmune condition, I have multiple sclerosis. I have already tipped over. My body is hypersensitive. It is sensitive to all sorts of foreign things and will probably forevermore be. I just have to be aware of that. That's fine. I can live a great life. I can dance up the night away as long as I don't have natural flavors or something like that. So, one of the things that is so common in this world right now is that we think, oh, you know what? I'm going to stay away from soda pop. And instead, I'm going to choose one of these flavored carbonated waters. That looks like a
Mm.
great option, right? It has 0 calories. The only ingredient is water and quote natural flavors.
Mm.
Well, when I, as someone whose body is very clean, because I've been doing this for a long time, when I have a sip of one of those carbonated waters, my eyelids will start to itch. They start up from my eyebrows, and it feels like my eyebrows are sandy, like I've spent the day at the beach. And then it will progress down to my eyelids, and my eyelids will start to peel. And if I continue to imbibe those natural flavors, they will eventually start to bleed.
Oh my goodness, that is a severe reaction. Dr. Yarnell, absolute pleasure to have you here this evening. I appreciate you so much for sharing your expertise with us around these issues of food sensitivities and that I think are so difficult for people with migraines, and opening our eyes to a few things that we probably have not thought about before. Most of us haven't. So thank you so much.